Hello. Hello. Hear me? How's it going? Hello. Hello. Hear me? How's it going? Let's put this over here. Larson, how's it going? Hey Christoph, nice to see you again, mate. Oh, there we go. Right, this music's annoying me. There we go. I think multi-streaming is fixed. I think. It seems to be working. I'm looking at it now. It's exciting. How are we all doing? Can't believe it's live. I know. This is like the third one in a row or something. Crazy, right? Clearly got nothing better to do. So I have got a couple of sort of plans. Vague plans. Vague plans anyway. We'll see how it goes. Did I get any Black Friday deals? No. I'd like to. I need my money at the moment. Right, that seems to be working okay. It seems to be working. Super. Do I sound all right? I'm well aware. I think that this microphone, I'm using a shotgun mic, and I don't think it's as good as my other microphone, but I prefer it because it's out of the way. As long as you can hear me all right. All right, Alan, how's it going, mate? Nice for you to join us. Hearing me good? Hi, T-Bar. How are you doing, mate? That's good, thank you. Let's try and get that so it's not in my face. That's very kind of you, Rick. I'm really pleased, mate. It's always nice to hear when people have got stuff out of the content I put out. I'm not planning on stopping either, so there should be plenty. Plenty to come. Still trying to work a little. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I've got to that point where I've got like so many ideas for things rattling around in my head. I need to focus on one thing at a time. I have all these like moments of, oh, that's a great idea, I'll do that, it's a great idea, and then, get distracted. I suppose that's fairly standard for everybody. Right, if I can get this, put you over here as well. Nope, come back. There we go. I'll move myself down here. Should anybody accidentally watch me on Twitch, you pick it up there. Right, cool. There we go. Let's move you back over. Sweet. So I was thinking, I get that feeling we'll have it. Yeah, absolutely. So I was thinking, I want to go back and revisit the, and this is going to be another one. I'm going to add this into my beginners playlist. So I've only talked about HTML parsing and whatnot. Will I make a video about your development? Yeah, I keep meaning to, but I mean, yeah, I could do. I just don't know. I could do. I mean, I got a couple of different operating systems at the moment. I use, hang on, look, there we go. Linux. This is actually a brand new, this is a Fedora install because I wanted to keep because I do all my work on this machine as well. I wanted a completely clear OS with nothing on, so I can't accidentally show you my work or dox myself. So what I was thinking is I want to revisit the idea of the using the network tab to find the data that gets sent and put into a table. So this is where I got to, because obviously we all love racing cars and DTM. So I feel like, and if I don't know if there are any beginners in here, there might be. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that have done this before will look at this and know exactly what I'm about to show you. But a lot of people, I think, will look at this and think, well, how the hell do I get this information? Let's say you wanted to replicate some of this for your own service. Let's say you were building a website where you analyze racing driver information, or you will have like a standard kind of like motorsport site and you want the actual tables that you can just put into your own place. A lot of people, I think, are going to look at this and not understand how to get it out, how to get this data, especially if you come and look at the elements and you kind of like start looking around at this. There's all this weird looking stuff, and obviously this is all a JavaScript dynamic page website. It's a bit difficult to see. I probably have to have a slightly smaller text at the moment just so I can see it and work as well. But yeah, so. But obviously, we all know from our experience that this is all being loaded dynamically, and we can find it all in the network here. There is a way to pop this out. There we go. So what we can do is, I'm just going to move this out of the way, is we can use the network tab and we can have a look at everything that's being made. What about keeping a login session? That log you out of a so if you're logging, it depends on how you're logging in, but once you've logged into whatever you're logging into, you'll get like the cookies and everything, and if you use requests and a session and the request session class and object, it will store all that for you and keep you logged in. Let's record. Let's reload the page. We'll start to see a load of stuff come through. Now, it's not immediately clear because I was on fetch XHR. Nothing's actually come up. You don't know why you said lobby. Oh, right, library. Okay. Yeah. So you need to use where is the documentation? Here. So if you do this and you use session object, if you log in, like if it's basic auth, you do this, it will hold all the information for you in that session, so you don't have to worry about it. And once you get logged out again, automatically you always get logged out again, so you have to log back in regardless. What you can also do is you can actually, if you log in via something else, you can generally pass this information back to requests for it to store. So if you logged in via something else, that's cool. That's really cool, man. That's a great sort of project to start with. I've done a lot of stuff like that. I think it's really good. There's loads of cool stuff to learn in there. Yeah, but basically, as I was saying, we've loaded this page up again, but we didn't actually find what we were looking for. There's a bit of information coming back, but we should see some JSON data. So what I say is just start clicking on stuff. So I've clicked on this link and look at all of these have popped up now. And from here, we can really like inspect and have a look. If I just go back a page, we'll start to see everything coming up. Now, one of these ones has got all the information in, I should imagine, driver standings, and then the response here. And this one's a bit more interesting because what we've got is that this is the JSON response. We have this text object here that's got all of this information in. Usually you find that this will just have this data in. I'm not sure why they've gone for this extra key. I don't quite know why they've done that. I haven't seen that so much. What's also you can do is you can look in the application and we've stored this down here somewhere. Is it session storage? No, local storage. And it's in here as well. So we've got all of these. This is all the information. It should be in here as well. Yeah, same data. And we've got the path and everything. So I'm going to come back over here. And the next thing that I always do is I just have a quick look at the request URL. So we can see, this is the request and it's straight to their API to the data with this query. So that makes total sense for us, for anyone that's worked with any APIs. This makes total sense. What I'll do next is copy this, come back to the browser, paste it in. Now you can see that we've got all this information that's come back here. Now I had this last time, the stream the other day, where for some reason Chrome doesn't format JSON data automatically. Firefox does, I believe. I don't know if I have to install a plugin, but we'll come over to here. There we go. So we can see that here's the JSON text. So this is the response. So we've got all of this, but we only want this information from here. So I'm going to go and just actually we'll pull it from here. Yeah, Firefox does. I don't know why Chrome doesn't. Do you have to install a plugin? I normally use Firefox. I've got my Firefoxes over here with all the other stuff, and it's logged in, so can't show you that. What I'm going to do is JSON formatter. Nice. Perfect. There we go. That's exactly it. So let's copy this. Yes, I am going to drag it all the way down. I realise what I'm doing now. No, I'm not going to do that. We'll do it differently. We'll do select all. Let's push it in here again. Where are we? There we go. Right. I'm going to do this a bit differently. What I'm going to do is, because I was going to show you about all these backslashes and everything, but we'll handle that. So I'm going to copy this link, and we will, yeah, I'll just stick you over here, and we'll have a new thingamajigger, and we'll just call this one dtm.pipe. This is where I'm going to get exposed for my atrocious typing skills. You'd have thought that someone that grew up with a computer and lives on a computer for so long would actually be able to type, but I really can't, as I'm just showing you here. Is this installed? Yeah. So we'll put this as our URL, which I unremoved from my thing. And we will set this. Just copy it into kernel. Yes, you can do that, yeah. Then we'll just do our response. But I want to show you that you don't, because that will get you all the that'll get you all the headers and everything. And I want to show you that you don't necessarily need to do that, because not all the sites will be like that. I was going to get to that point next. Okay, so now we'll save this and we'll run it. Cool. So this is kind of like formatted it all for us as well. So as we saw, if we go back to here, we have this key and then JSON text. So we should have those as well. So we have this key and then our JSON text. And we have, oh, it's a list in there as well. Did I stop using HTTPX? I didn't know, I still use that a lot. I think I just installed request on this because I haven't created a virtual environment or anything. So I think request is just installed from what I was messing around with earlier. I use both. I would normally use HTTPX for a project I was going to start, because I like the fact that if I get to a point where I want to async some of it, I can just drop it in. So the video would be about passing the text. Yeah, so it's going to be about finding how to find the text that gets sent to the table. The fact that a lot of websites make it very easy just to access it like this, like I've just shown you here, and then how to do something with this text. Cool. So let's come back up and open this up again. So we don't want to print this anymore. We're going to save it to our own JSON file. Let's make it a bit bigger. And we'll do with open, and we'll just call this standings.json. We have to put right in here, I'm not sure, as f, and then we can do json.dump. We should be able to do this to f. Cool, and now we can open up our standings.json. Okay, so it's formatted it badly. See, we've got all this stuff in here, and I don't think I've got black installed on this. I hope I do. No. Is Django good for backend? Yeah, Django's good for everything. It's a bit kind of like no frills, kind of like not that exciting. I don't particularly enjoy writing apps as in Python, to be honest. But then I don't really build those sort of applications. Loads of companies use Django, loads of people use Django. I think it's really good. Having everything like done for you out of the box like that with the ORM and everything just makes your dev life so much easier. You don't really have to think about anything. You just build what you're trying to build. But it kind of does make it a little bit less interesting, in my opinion, in that respect, because you've got a lot less freedom, really. Although everything's done for you, there's a way to do everything. Everyone's thought of everything already, so you just follow along and do it how it's supposed to be done, and you're fine. So there is in here formatting. We have to put in, I think it is, we have to put UTF-8 in somewhere. This is going to tidy it all up. Oh, here we go. Here. So we need to put in, I don't know if ensure ASCII is important or not. But is it in here? Where do you put that? There we go. It is encoding as UTF-8. So like this. Nope. Dash. I don't know if we need the wow. So we do want the ensure ASCII. Pretty sure this should be fine. I did this the other day. Let's just remove and then run. Nope. UTF, is it dash? These are the things that I can never properly remember. What is it then? Because that removes all of the stuff that's around it and everything. Yeah, ensure ASCII. Have you ever tried web dev? Yeah, I do some. I wouldn't say. Well, if anything, it's back end. it should be dumped because we're dumping it to a file rather than to a string. If we were doing dumping it to a string, we would do dumps. It's the I've got the encoding wrong somewhere. It's not a big deal. So the other thing is, and which is what Nema said just now, is what you will find is this might not always work. And if this does work, it'll work in your browser, but it won't work when you make the actual request from Python. So what you can do is you can use the copy as curl and then do curl converter. I used to do this in Postman or Insomnia all the time, but Postman changed or something, or Insomnia definitely changed, and it was like I really didn't enjoy it. It all went a bit funny, and it was so much harder. I think if you use VS Code using, what's it called? There's the Thunder client or something. Anyway, can you send the link here to what? I don't know if I can post links. Curl converter, is that what you mean? Well, what this is going to do is it's pulled all of the headers from that main request that we've made and the parameters, so we could actually change this. I don't know if it would work. So what we're kind of getting towards here is, in a way, reverse engineering their API. So we're making this request, and because we've got all of the right headers, this should be able to be easily reproducible. And if it starts to fail for whatever reason, you can actually then just load it back up in an automated browser, which you can then get a whole new fresh set of headers and everything like that, and it'll be able to carry on working. But if, for example, if this was a multiple different site, we could maybe have a different series, or we could make a different query, which I think you should be able to do because we've got all these different ones here that have like different information like this. So you can then, hi Zed, nice to see you there, mate. How are you doing? Yeah, so you could be able to like change it, and kind of cool. I've done that a few times before. So we would just run. Oh, I didn't do anything with the data. So if we just response dot, is my LSP worker? Nope. Why not? Okay, fair enough. Don't bother then. So we get the same thing back. So yeah, that's kind of what the yeah, no, I've got that in my, I just have, this is a brand new install, so I'm missing a load of stuff basically. I've got it to, I've got to figure out, I've got to update all of that stuff. I basically just copied over my basic i3 config, and I've been trying to get the stream working. But I have Pi, and another one I use, Pi server, which is quite cool, which is just setting up the Python server so you can move your files around. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've got that. So yeah, that's good. Basically, that's going to be like the contents of the next sort of like beginner video of how to look at doing that, and how to sort of like understand what you're looking at and how to work through it. Is there any way to find CSS selectors better? Takes a lot of time. Yeah, so I don't think we need the. I'll move this out of the way. We'll put this one over here, and we'll bring this one back. And we'll move you over here, and we'll do this. So if we look at, let's go to. Move these here, for example. So this is basically the same information, but this is an HTML table. Let's move. Okay, so I'm going to just have this this over here. This should be fine. Okay. Yeah. So what I tend to do is, let's put that, so I don't need that. What I'll do is I will look, try and get this so we can kind of read this. There we go. So what I tend to do is, you can of course copy the selectors out, right? So you can go copy the CSS selector. But you can just about see that. I mean, that's not really that useful. I mean, that's quite unpleasant for that one. So what I would tend to do is, if I make this a little bit bigger, is let's say I wanted this specific div here for whatever reason. So I kind of just go back up the tree a bit and find something that's a bit nicer. So this one, for example, is an easy one to get to, okay? So this would just be your, is it, if I put the thing away, somewhere I can type it in, isn't there? Yeah, so this would just be, oh, what was it? I've moved it. I can't remember what it was. Let's go back down. So that. So we just find this one, and then from here you can then go to be like, okay, give me the next div. So I think that's like this, right? The next one, or you can find, or you can do it like this, and you can have all of them. I know it's only selecting that one, but it should be like that. And from there you can kind of like go through them all and then get to the one that you actually want. I find that much easier. So I would start by looking at the actual div that you want and then go back up. So let's find this one here. I need this guy back over here. So if we were to do this one, for example, there, I'll remove this. That's Discord buzzing my watch. No, sidetracked. Yeah. So if you look at this one, this is quite easy because this is like a span with name short. So this is quite easy. But if you wanted to find this whole row, you kind of go back up and you find this row here. So these work quite well. But let's say you didn't have a good class here or something, where you could look for this one, T-body, or you could look for it within the table. And if you were trying to find this table, but you're like, I don't know about this one, well, you could go back up one to find this. So you could go this div and then table, like this, div dot that, and then table. And that takes us to our table, like that. Or it will take you to a matching selector. So that's kind of where I go to with that sort of thing. I find it easier to do it like that, really. Yeah. You often scrape using R. Someone else was in here yesterday talking about scraping with R. I keep meaning to look it up. It's not something I think I'm actually going to learn, but you know, still kind of interesting. I find it quite interesting. Which database do you recommend for scraping? Yeah, so if I'm, I pretty much exclusively use Postgres now. I find it's it's open source, so it's free. It's easy to set up and run. It's really easy, to be honest. I think it's great. I still do use SQLite, mostly only locally. But what I don't do, which I have, I think I've suggested doing before, which I probably would recommend against now, is like starting with SQLite and then starting with SQLite and then moving over to Postgres. If you're just going to use one, I would just say just use Postgres and just stick with it. MySQL is also good. I've used that a few times. Just depends on, you know, how I feel, I suppose. But generally Postgres. I don't have a lot of experience with the document databases. I know a lot of people like those, like Mongo, but I don't have a lot of experience in them. I'd like to learn more about them, to be honest, but I just don't really have the time at the moment. So I pretty much use Postgres. And I think it's fairly easy to set up now with I use it in Docker most of the time, to be honest, as well. Do you declare schemas? Yeah, most of the time I'll have the schema set up, and I will usually, depending on I use Mongo, you don't have to write schemas. Yeah, it does depend a lot, but I find it easier. I find it quite useful to do that, especially because I will if I'm starting a project, I'll sort of work out all the data points that I want, and then I'll go from there and I'll create my database, and then I'll send the information I get to it. So I'll like just, use the schema to create a database. I do that all the time when I'm using Go as well, because I don't use an ORM with Go. I only use raw SQL queries or something like SQLC or SQLX, which Python doesn't really have. Mongo came to mind. Yeah, I think Mongo can be good. I guess it just depends on your use cases. Like I said, I haven't really used it, so I don't really know. I only messed around with it, so. Like my content? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's always nice to know that people watch it and enjoy it. To talk to people. If you use indent in JSON and dumps, it removes. That's what I was missing. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. I don't scrape Twitter anymore. I've done it a bit before. Thank you for being kind words. I would say just use the Twitter API. Yeah, because I think you run into sorts of problems with trying to scraping Twitter with the bot protection and everything, or X, or whatever it's called now. Find it easier to cache the HTTP request before I start querying. Yeah. So you save. Yeah, I did a video kind of along those lines not that long ago, where you save everything first, i.e. you cache it and you store it all, and then you start to query it out. There is a good use case for that. I think that's definitely. But when from my experience, it's once your projects grow out, you need to split things up, so you have your sort of URL queue where everything is, all the URLs that you want, which you can add to, and then you have your scrapers that pull from that queue, whether it's just in memory or whether you're using Redis or something, I suppose. And then from there, you get the data, and you can either pull out the information that you want there and then send it off down a pipeline to your database or wherever, or you can send a whole lot and then go the other way around. There's benefits to both. I like the sort of storing everything, because it gives you the whole raw data, everything you can see. That's a good way of doing it. Is the Twitter API nearly dead? Yeah. It is. It's isn't it isn't it $42,000 a month or something? Everyone's projects kind of just died. Hello Mo, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us, mate. Been freelancing, been out of pause. I think that's probably more of the fact that there's not a lot of projects for web scraping rather than AI. I think AI fits into web scraping best for managing data and pulling data out rather than anything else, because the actual hardest part of scraping data is consistently pulling the information out and managing it and all that sort of stuff, rather than an AI is not going to do that for you, in my opinion. As for barely getting any offers, I think it's quite difficult because scraping's got kind of a lower barrier of entry, as in anyone can kind of do the basic stuff if you've got any basic coding knowledge, but it's once you get past that and you get up to having to handle the scale and everything, it really does become quite difficult. So it's hard. I don't actually do any freelancing anymore really either, because I obviously have a day job, so that kind of does that. But it is difficult. It's hard. My best advice is just be able to do lots of different things, really, I guess, and have a good few projects available. I would almost. I haven't done this myself, so it's hard. Like I don't really want to give advice on it, but this is kind of just how I feel. So you can make out of this what you will. But I almost feel like building a service around getting data is better than actually just pulling data for people. But that depends on a lot of different things. I use ChatGPT to show me how to scrape various languages. Yeah, that's a cool way of doing it. I think the learning aspect is probably better using ChatGPT. Have I ever published anything scientific? No, I haven't. This is probably a bit far beyond me. I would love to do, and I'm hoping to be able to do, some more stuff like more presentations and talks and things like that. That would be cool. I don't think I'll publish anything scientific though. Way out of my field, my depth. Currently using scraping middleware to have distributed cache, distributed queue. Yes, and yes. Yeah. What do you write that middleware yourself, or did you find something? Because I know there's quite a few different things like Scrapey Redis and stuff like that. I use Python to transform data in an Excel file. Yep. That's pretty cool. Oh, and then analyze it with R. That's interesting. You're obviously more comfortable. Oh, there's the R guy from yesterday. I knew we talked about R. Yeah. Welcome back, Mika. Thank you for joining us. I won't ask you about why you don't. I won't ask you all about why you use R again. I don't need to grill you over that. You're using Scrapey Redis. You have to write the Mongo queue yourself, for example. That's interesting. Are they? That's cool. I haven't. I've looked at Scrapey Redis, but I've not actually. You are the R guy, yeah. I haven't. I haven't really dove into it that much. I would really like to though. I tend to done a lot more like writing of my own stuff rather than using Scrapey, and I think that's benefited me in a way that I've learned a lot more, but there's definitely a use case for doing it like that. It's just everything's polished and there for you and works. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I missed a couple of things. Programmatically downloading files. Yeah, it depends on a few things, but if you can just find the URL of the file that you want to download, if that's simple, you can just use requests. So you can do it in a couple of lines of code. If you need to do more stuff like downloading from sites you're probably best off using Selenium, so you can load up the page and see what's going on, and then you can find a download link and just save it, I suppose is the obvious way. It's not something I've done an awful lot of. Even things like images of stuff I don't really do a lot of. I tend to do, it would be URLs of images and things. You have to write the HTTP cache yourself. Oh, as opposed to the Mongo queue. Got you. Oh, yeah, I got it. I understand. Yeah, got you. So yeah. Sends the entire HTTP out. Got you. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that sort of approach. So it doubles the amount of bandwidth. Right. Okay. Got you. I've been doing a bit more distributed stuff recently. I find it quite interesting. Still learning about it though. Like spinning up nodes to, spread the load across various different, your kind of like net, I suppose. Yeah, that's nice, interesting. Am I part of any local Python groups? No, I should be. I saw you said that I should give talks at Python meetups. I would do that. Do you know what's hard for me at the moment is like, I just do a lot of different things, and this is just part of it. I still have a day job on, you know, all the other things that people my age tend to do, hobbies and whatnot. So finding time to do that is difficult. And I don't think there are any Python groups in my area where I live. But I would definitely, it's definitely a good idea. I'd like to do that. Maybe I could learn a few things as well from doing it. That'd be interesting. If you want to make good money, quit all your hobbies and spend the next 5 years learning everything. That's what I tried to do the last 5 years. That's why I started. That's why I started the YouTube channel. I didn't start the YouTube channel so like. I started it to become accountable, to teach myself how to code, and I thought, you know, the best way once you've learnt something is to tell other people how you did it. So I used YouTube to do that, and it kind of grew into this. And then I started thinking more about making YouTube content rather than coding. And then now I've gone back and I'm like, no, I'd rather write more code than do this, which is why, you know, if I'm honest, most of the stuff I write nowadays is Go because I prefer that language. I thought you started this channel to show, no, well, you obviously haven't watched my early videos. I definitely didn't have a lot of skill then. It's all been a learning journey, and now I just share what I know, try and help people, teach beginners, I suppose. I try and stay away from. Started watching over a year ago or so. Oh, cool. Oh, that's nice. I think you probably just about started getting the better videos. I wouldn't bother going back and watching any of the old ones. They're pretty terrible. You know, you've got to start somewhere. Yeah, I try and stay away from all of like the, you know, the kind of like all the language. What language is this? This is best language. This do this, use that, and I try and stay away from that. I kind of like. I've tried quite a few different languages, and I think it's just whichever one I feel like I enjoy using the most. I don't really worry about like. I mean, obviously Python is better for scraping than Go. It's just easier. The newest language is called Rust. Yeah, I've looked at Rust, but there was too much going on. Borrow checker, lifetimes. That's why I liked. One of the things I liked about Go was the fact that you wrote it all yourself, but it was safe enough, and you know you couldn't really go wrong. Which I thought was pretty cool. If you look at R versus Python, okay. If you studied statistics, if you Python. Yeah. Okay. If that's the key one, isn't it? Though, if you study statistics, you know R. There's a lot of things that I like about Python. There's a lot of things I don't like about it as well. But I think that could be just a lack of familiarity with certain things, and there's a lot of features in Python that I just don't really use that much. So maybe it's kind of like that sort of thing for me. Python needs much better type hinting. I don't like that. I don't really like the type hints in Python. I think I suppose I don't have massive loads of industry experience on it, so it's hard to like. This is just kind of my opinion. It's not, and it's only based on my own personal experience. But when you use things like any or anything, it just kind of seems to defeat the point to me. It's like, well, and it doesn't do anything anyway. It doesn't stop anything happening. So I don't know. I don't really use them, to be honest. Probably should do more. I know loads of people love them, and I actually read there's a Google. So if you're a Google employee, there's like a Google Python handbook type thing. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called exactly. But they basically say use type hints as much as possible. But that's because loads of people are writing on the same code base, and I totally understand it in that respect. So yeah, I'm not going to get hired by Google anytime soon. Python's for ML. Yeah, that's another thing that I've never really used, to be honest. I suppose I prefer web stuff, I guess. Pulling data, and I guess I would probably be like a data engineer or something like that. Don't think I'd be a data analyst. Yeah, pretty cool. Right, I'm gonna split. That was good. I enjoyed that. I had a good chat. Thank you everyone for dropping by. Index. Oh, index 0. Yeah. Selenium and AWS Lambda. Yeah. I'm scared of AWS. I'm scared of accidentally doing something and ending up with a massive bill. But I know one of my friends who does web scraping full time he's a JavaScript guy, but he uses Puppeteer, but same difference. And he uses AWS Lambda and he loves it. Is Lambda the one that gives you proper IPs that rotate as well, so you can kind of negate the need for some proxies sometimes as well? It's another thing that I should look into, to be honest. But I mean, my most all of the stuff that I've done has always been, fairly. It's either been, it's never been that like resource heavy. It's either been just a few browsers running, or it's been code running. It's set to run at different times, and I've always just run it off a Linux server, my own one or whatever. So, but yeah, no, I'm off now. Thanks for joining, everyone. Make sure you jump into the Discord. I'm in there now. I'll be in there for a bit longer after this as well. Come and say hello, and thank you all for joining and chatting, and especially thank you to Baby Dragon for being my only Twitch viewer and my first ever Twitch chatter. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, hopefully I updated the Discord link in YouTube, so it should be fine now, because it didn't work before. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks, Christoph. Nice for you to be about again. I'll join. Yeah, check the link. Make sure the link works. Should do. I updated it. Right. Until next time, guys, which should be soon. I'm going to be doing 1 or 2 streams a week. That's my plan. Can't tell you what days they're going to be, but they'll be there. I enjoy it. It's good fun. Right. I'm going now. See you later.